fam? It's Mr. Kelly with Good to the Hood, talking about anything and everything that impacts the culture. And today I have a business owner, designer, maybe you could say founder of a clothing line out of the East Coast, I believe, called KRoussaw, right? So how's it going, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. I can't complain.
Okay. So you have your own clothing brand. Um,
Correct.
and for some of my viewers, they've seen me wear this shirt. I get kind of an apt to review, a couple clothing lines, and yours, to me personally, was one of the best ones. It was very unique. In fact, it looks like that yellow shirt that's right above your hat there.
It is. It is. Name one.
In that video. So, what got you started in the business? What?
Oh man. So essentially when I first started, it organically happened. It wasn't something that I was trying to do to create a clothing brand.
Okay.
I was into real estate, and I was honestly looking for a way to market myself that was a little different than what other people was doing. And I've always been into fashion. So essentially, I just wanted to create a product where I could give it away to my clients. And I got a friend of mine who's a great artist to kind of draw up something that embodied who I was, but also had something to do with real estate. So essentially, she created a logo that had only symbolism. The whole logo is all about symbolism.
Is that the bear?
Yes, the bear.
Okay.
So the bears. So every part of the logo has symbolism in it, and I'll get to that in a second. So basically, so she drew it up. I started to give it to my clients, but a lot of the people around me, my friends and people I knew, they wanted the product because I essentially put it on hats. And them wanting the product kind of gave me the idea, and I was like, well, if everybody wants it, maybe I should start selling this. And honestly, that's how KRoussaw was born.
Okay, so it wasn't even something that, so you weren't even passionate. Well, I don't want to say you weren't passionate, but you weren't really like, it wasn't like as a little.
That's my idea. No,
kid, you're like, man, I always want to have my own.
No, that was not the idea at all. And I always tell people, I think that sometimes the best things come organically, because again, it wasn't something that I was looking to do. People just continue to request different things. So it started off with just hats. It was a hat line that came from me giving it away. And then it started to me selling the product. And then from there, people were asking for, oh, you got t-shirts? Do you have polos? Do you have this? Do you have that?
Right.
And of course, me being just a creative in general, I just started to, you know what? I am going to get t-shirts. I'm going to make polos. I'm going to make hoodies. And it kind of just grew into what it is today.
So do you, I guess for lack of a better term, do you manufacture your own clothing, or how does that?
So basically, I create each and every product, but I actually have a distributor that creates and manufactures the product for me.
Okay. Because that shirt that I had was very unique. And because it's like, I even said this when I was doing the review, it was like carpeted type of.
Yeah.
I mean, that may not be the right description, but it's not your regular embroidered. You know, it's not your regular embroidered. So where did you come up with that idea?
Honestly, I get a lot of ideas from other things that I see. Okay. And I kind of incorporate them into my own, of course, to put my own spin on them. So when I see different things, and well, let me go back to what the logo means really quick, because when I talked about it. So again, the logo is all about symbolism. So the bear itself, it symbolizes something that's cute and cuddly, but if you mess with it, it can get grisly. The bow tie is a symbolism of business and getting business done. The house key itself is the house is the foundation of who you are, and everything that's important to you is in your home. And the crown, of course, is pretty basic and straightforward. It's all about kings and queens and royalty. So all of that kind of tied into what the logo means. But back to what you were saying. What was the question again? I forgot.
No, I didn't forget. Hold on. So we'll kind of go in this direction. So me personally, so we're in Denver, right? And when I first saw the shirt, the first place that I saw it was actually on TV. Now, I don't know if you know the gentleman Michael that was on Married at First Sight, but I noticed that it's like season 10. You know, if you're familiar with that show, you got to be familiar with that show, because I'm telling you, whoever Michael is, I don't know if he kin to you or he just a big fan, because me and my wife watched that show. She's a big fan of it, so we kind of watching that.
Yeah.
Every episode, this brother was not. Look, when I say every episode, I mean every episode. This brother was wearing a shirt or a sweatshirt or a hoodie or a polo.
Yeah.
Man, that's dope. So then I started I started trying to look for it, and then I found your site, your website online, and so that's kind of what kind of got that started. So
Yeah, for sure.
was that orchestrated, or that was just like just luck of the fashion gods?
Well, that was an organic connection, honestly. And the funny thing is that he actually wore other things on the show. It's just for some reason that was the fashion guys that they only really aired what he wore of mine.
Okay.
But it was an organic connection, honestly. He always had, liked the line, and he always, asked about it. He actually had purchased some products from me, and I didn't know what he was doing or what show he was going on, but he just asked me would I mind if he wore some of my clothes. I said, I mean, I don't mind. So that's kind of how that happened. And
okay. Did that really impact the business in a positive way? I mean, if nothing, you got one sale out of me.
Definitely. I mean, all exposure, man. I mean, it was like a lot of people, actually tuned in, and I had no idea, again, what show it was going to be on, what network. Right. I had no idea anything about that. I just know, like, again, he really loved the clothes, and it was something that he was already supporting. So, you know what I mean? I didn't know where it was going to be or feature anything like that. So the fact that it was on that show that so many people watched,
right,
got a lot of feedback, a lot of great reviews, just, a lot of increases. So it was a great positive, outcome. And again, organically, I'm all about organics, man. And that's how it happened.
And how it flows.
Yeah.
Exactly. So how long you been doing this? How many, when you really started getting into, not when it was a brainchild, but as far as like, okay, well, now we have product, we can start.
I would say, so we're going into our third year, honestly.
Okay.
So the first year, I guess it was an idea more so in 2017 in summer. And then towards the fall, winter of 2017, that's when it really got official. Paperwork got filed, all that type of thing. And from there, it happened. Honestly, it happened so fast, man. I look back on these 3 years that we've, coming up on 3 years that we've been in business, and just the places that we've been. We've been in New York Fashion Week. We've been at Essence Fest. And like, that was like year 2, year 3, when New York Fashion Week this year. It's just been an amazing run.
And this is all you do currently now, right? Like, are you still doing real estate and this,
I do. I still invest in real estate as well. But this is like the main thing.
Do you have? Because I was trying to do a little research, and I knew it couldn't have been around for quote unquote too long, just because there's a lot on the company, but not really a lot on the company. Yeah. And it seems like you do, and correct me if I'm wrong, you do a lot of outreach, like into the community, because that's like, looks like you did some things in Maryland, Washington D.C., Virginia.
Yes. So we also have, KRoussaw is a brand itself. Okay. So we have KRoussaw Cares, which is our nonprofit, which we do a lot of work in the community, like you said, a lot of outreach. I'm a teacher as well, so I do a lot. In addition to that, KRoussaw again is the brand. So then we have the clothing line, which is KRoussaw Apparel. So KRoussaw is kind of like I watched Kevin Hart and how he said like the name itself will be synonymous with so many different things. And the clothing line is what we push currently, the most. But the brand of KRoussaw is a lot bigger than just clothes.
Now, do you have any big big sponsors or celebrities or anybody that's kind of approached you that's like, I want to champion this product because I like your movement and your mission?
I've definitely came into contact with some celebrities. We had got Fat Boy to try to be one of those people, but I guess like right now it just hasn't, like we haven't had the outpouring of celebrities as of yet, but it's coming.
Okay. No, I think it absolutely is. It's definitely unique. It's something that's a little bit different than the regular. Like I told people before, having a clothing line is extremely difficult.
Yes.
It's way, and look, and again, like I know that you've seen the review that I did, and I said the first thing that I said, whoever this guy is, this KRoussaw brand, I said, they're doing it right. You guys had the best packaging, right? Because your bags, when you shipped me the shirt, I'd never seen, like I even said on the show, I haven't even had a bag like this from Nike.
Yeah. I
don't know how you even got it. You got the colors that are on it, the logo that's on it. It's like the delivery bag. You don't even want to throw the bag away. Like, man, I need to almost hang this up. You know what I mean? And so, and during COVID, you were able to get product. I mean, it didn't like it skip a beat. And I can see behind you, it's like you even have inventory. And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Like the clothing line is a game of volume. Yes. And a game of you got to be ready. You got to stay ready for when it pops.
Exactly. And that's one of the biggest things. I tell this to my team all the time. One thing I always pride myself in is service, customer service, and things like that. So when it comes to the smallest thing that people skim or skip spending money on, that's very important to me. Like how you receive your product, the amount of time you receive it. I don't like people to wait or things to be on back order. And one of the things about it is like I do push, this is boutique wear. You know, as far as like the amount, and when you say volume of clothes that we have, and because one of the things I want people to know is that when you buy something from me, it's going to be quality, but the quantity of it is kind of like buying Jordans. Of course, we're not Jordan yet, and keyword is yet, but there's a reason why they continue to. The stock of it is not going to be as much, even though they continue to release them. When we make items, my goal is to make that yellow shirt that you see behind me. When those are gone, I don't plan on ever making them again.
Really?
So, yeah, that's my goal, and to continue to push new product out. Of course, always have that unique feel, always have that great quality, but it's to continue to innovate and make new products, and not continue to make the same thing over and over again.
So in a run, so on the yellow shirt, so how many do you do in a run? I mean, like, so you're saying like once those are gone, they're
done.
They're done. But so is that 1,000? Is that 10,000? Is that?
No, I'm really big on. It always varies, but I'm really big on lower quantity numbers. So in any given set, it might be less. I mean, I'm just playing with numbers for an example. Sure. It could be 100. It can be 200.
Oh wow!
And of course, in that the colors will vary to make up that number of the example which I gave of 100 to 200. Because my goal is not to have like. We have so many different variant products that people tend to like more than others, or some people really like this. Right. And I want to be able to I want you to feel some sense of exclusivity, which is why the price points are what they are, because it's not about everyone being able to have the same product and look the same. Our whole thing is don't just see the difference, be the difference. So we want you to feel different. We want you to feel empowered when you're wearing our clothes. And therefore that variety, as well as the exclusivity in it, is what we pride ourselves on. So that's what makes me.
Yeah. That makes sense. So every item is virtually a limited edition, so to speak. Yeah. Okay.
Literally.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So what's some of the? I mean, you already kind of had the business mind already being in real estate, because I know basically when you're in real estate, you kind of. So what are some of the things, I guess, that as an entrepreneur and with a business that's taken off the way that it is, what's advice that you would give? Because I mean, a lot of brothers in the community, we naturally have like an entrepreneurial spirit. Like the Black community, everybody's got an entrepreneurial spirit.
For sure.
What I mean? Good or bad, right? Yeah. Varies from individual to individual. But
and what they're selling, but
right, what you're selling, glad you said it.
I got you.
What advice would you give? What advice would you give to to young brothers? Man, I want to get my own business off. Like, what advice would you give?
I'm gonna say the same advice that Nipsey Hussle said, man, and I think it resonates so real. Whatever you do, just don't quit. Someone told me this outside of course, Nipsey Hussle, but someone else told me this, and I swear every time there's a difficult day, every time throughout these 3 years and continuing on, I hold on to the words that this young man said to me. He said, man, whatever you do, just don't stop. The reason why I've seen so many different brands, no matter what businesses, they fail because they stop. And consistency is key. I tell anyone this, like, whatever you do, just keep going. Even when you don't know, figure it out. You will come to a point in your business where you won't understand how you got over that hurdle. How were you able to overcome? But when you continue to push forward through all adversity, then you tend to come out on top. And I think that, again, some people have mentors, some people don't. But with this thing that we have at our fingertips, you can find a lot of information out. You can trial and error. It's crazy because I'll have conversations with people in business and I don't even realize how much I've learned and grown over these years. Yeah. Outside of course, doing a clothing line prior to, but just being in business for so many years and doing different entrepreneurial endeavors, how I've learned so much and I don't even realize it. So when I give advice to people, it's like I'm giving them gems, but in reality, I'm just talking to them. So I would definitely say my advice would be just to keep going, man. Don't stop. Even if you can't figure it out, utilize your resources, whatever they may be, if that's a person or the internet, and figure it out.
Yeah, I tell that to guys too. We live in the information age. It's not even about creating the game. It's just learning how to play it.
Exactly.
Because it's already outlined out there. Like,
Yeah.
companies have been out forever, whether it's clothing companies or shoes or whether it's a food product or whatever.
Exactly.
What do you think is, I mean, outside of your kind of your uniqueness, if you recall in the 90s, I don't know if you can recall in the 90s, age wise, but there was a big surgence of clothing brands, right?
Yeah.
But especially out of the East. I mean, like, and a lot of it was in the hip hop community, like whether it was Fat Farm, there was FUBU, of course, there was Woo Wear, there's just, everybody had something, right? And nowadays, a lot of that has kind of fallen off. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be able to go to the store and get a FUBU shirt, right? I mean, unless it's a vintage. So what do you think is something that you're doing so that you're not going to fall into those pitfalls?
Honestly, I think that we live in an age of like influencers. So if you have that, one of the things you said in the beginning was, do you have any big celebrities? Da, 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 da. But I think that if you can manage and you can master influencer marketing, you can be successful for a very long time. And that just goes from influencer to influencer of whatever time. If it's the influencers of today to 10 years from now, whoever's an influencer, because we look at what's trending, right? We look at how things are trending. It's because of the people that are marketing the product. These waist trainers, this flat tummy tee, Fashion Nova, it's all because of influencer marketing, because everyone is on Instagram on their phone each and every day, all day. They're on TikTok, whatever social media, whatever is trending. You have to position yourself to be a part of what's trending, whatever that is. If it's whatever movement is trending, whatever people are trending, whatever people are relevant, whatever is influencing the people that you're marketing your product or service to, you have to be a part of that. And I feel like no matter, as long as you're doing that, you're positioning yourself for success. Of course, you're going to spend a lot more money because these people want to be paid and they want to be compensated, probably handsomely.
Sure.
But, and that's the thing I think that a lot of people are misinformed about, is that success is achievable, but it's a certain amount of money that you're going to have to spend. And in doing that, everyone doesn't have that capital. Everyone is not in position to do that. But if Cardi B says, hey, I'll wear your shirt, and if Cardi B wears it, you're going to get a pretty good return on it. But Cardi B needs $50,000 to wear your shirt. Do you have $50,000?
Right.
You know what I mean? And that might be a low number for her. She might want $100,000. You have $100,000 to pay her.
It definitely depends on who the artist is and who they are. Did you have to take a loan? Or were you able enough to finagle to where you just kind of start with one shirt? Because something that struck me in the beginning, you said you originally wanted to have something that you could give away.
Yes.
Give away to real estate clients or what have you, right? So, and then just everybody wanted. So, and again, I know that you have to have the product on hand to do it properly.
Yes, and that's one thing I'm really big on.
So, did you have to take a business loan?
Honestly, for me, and everybody's stories differently. I didn't. I was in a position to where, again, and I continue to say this, where everything happened organically, where I had a small sample size of things that, of course, I was giving away, so I didn't order a large, crazy amount of them.
Right.
And it's kind of crazy when we talked about volume, because it's like organically my business was structured in a way of exclusivity without me even knowing it. And then from there, I kind of just kept it going. So before I had a distributor, before I had any of these things, I was just in a position to where things were rolling, and I had to realize what type of brand I was going to be. And I always wanted to be on quality and exclusiveness, because that's how I always ordered my products, and that's how I always made them. So fortunately for me, and then when the ball started rolling and the income and the revenue started to come in, I was able to constantly flip. And again, Nipsey Hussle, I'm going to use him, all money in. So instead of I see a lot of people that I've come in contact with that they'll take their profits and they'll basically, give them to themselves. Whereas with me, it was always whatever I made, I put back into my business. I put it into those bags that you talk about, or the shopping bags, or the shipping bags, or marketing material. I constantly put my money back into my business. So I was willing to not see a crazy return for years. And that's kind of like what positioned us to be where we are, because it wasn't about me putting money in my pocket. I wasn't looking for a quick flip or a hustle. I was looking at longevity.
Are you in stores now, or is it just online?
So it's just online currently. We've been in stores over the years. We've been in several boutiques all up and down the East Coast. But one of the things that I feel like, or during COVID-19, honestly, we had actually pulled some of our stuff from stores or boutiques that we were in, was that I kind of wanted to position us to be, I would say, on our own necessarily. Because one thing I realized that when you're in other people's stores, you're kind of subject to, their rules and regulations of how they want to run their business, which may not be a direct representation of how we do business.
Okay.
And we've had some experiences that weren't too pleasurable in being in stores.
Okay.
So for me, it was like I had to reevaluate. And again, being in one place and having your product in somewhere else, it's kind of hard to manage and regulate the things that are going on. And then when anything, again, I'm very big on our presentation and our representation, that I had to sacrifice and go to where, we'll open our own boutique.
Okay. So are you even if it was one of the box stores, like if Macy's came, are you opposed to maybe putting it in a Macy's or, a store like that? Because that's a little different than, you know what I mean? That's a little different than a boutique or something.
Yeah, most definitely. I think if the opportunity presented itself and it made sense, then by all means. I would just say, like I said, from what we've experienced in business so far, the store or the boutique hasn't been as kind to us as we'd like. And I'm really big on, again, like branding ourselves and branding the name KRoussaw. So having our own boutique is definitely something that we're pushing for, after COVID, during COVID. That's something that actually is in the works as we speak. So again, like I said, for me, that's something that we're looking at, and we're definitely not against being in stores at all.
Do you have plans of because you like I said, you're all up and kind of up and down the East Coast. Do you have plans or to move to maybe down south or the West Coast even?
Oh man, it's funny that you say that. So I was actually in LA the beginning of this year, and I was looking at some different boutiques and stores out there. I love the West Coast, honestly. Being from the East Coast, it was just a different vibe. And when I went out there, that it was something that gave me the idea, because prior to that, I guess I was just kind of heavily focused on the East Coast, and of course the South is always something that I love as well. But going to the West Coast, it was just a different vibe for me. And honestly, it made me think about that. I was on Melrose. For everybody who knows LA, I was on Melrose, Fairfax, just kind of like checking out the scene and just looking at the culture there. And it was something that at that point, honestly, prior to, it wasn't something I really thought about.
Really?
But after that, so during COVID, we've been making plans, man. I'm trying to branch out to the West Coast. But prior to, honestly, not really.
Those colors are popping. Atlanta, I'm telling you, the colors that you offer, I think Atlanta would eat that up.
And it's funny, we just came back. We were in Atlanta this year as well. And Atlanta, we love Atlanta. I love Atlanta. Atlanta loves the brand. We do well. We do well there. And again, I think that when we talked about boutiques, right, and me essentially owning my own, I want to be in several different areas. I don't want to just be, pigeonholed or, boxed into one specific area. I want to branch out and be in several areas. So when you say Atlanta, that's one of the places we're looking at. But to have our first store, probably be something local, and then branch out and opening a store on the West Coast for sure, and definitely in the South.
You kind of mentioned it. Did COVID, did that hurt your business, help it, or just have no effect?
It helped it. Honestly, it helped it so much.
Yeah, because some businesses it did help, and with you being online, I feel like people just kind of just watching TV and then they want to order stuff and whatever. Yeah. So I know some businesses it went down and some not so much, but
yeah, I would say it definitely helped us, primarily because one of the biggest things that I talk about, because I'm involved in a lot of different things. Sometimes the small things that you may notice that other people may not, I had the chance to be able to go back and fix and to make our business more pristine and clean everything up. So things that the consumer may not be aware of, but me as a business owner, I was able to really go in and spend that time and pay attention to detail and get everything that I wanted done. So for me, and then in turn, that only helped with marketing and sales and things like that. But these are, again, things that as a business owner, I was able to clean up and really pay attention to that I really didn't have time to on the day-to-day, the hustle and bustle. So everything kind of closing down and slowing down gave me the opportunity to take advantage of having
a tweak.
Exactly. And paying more attention to detail. Because I'm really big on that. I don't like to say I'm a perfectionist necessarily, but I'm very important. Like when it comes to my business, I'm very in tune with what people want because I'm a consumer as well. So I try to really be conscious of like what people would want, how they would want it, and making sure that people get a quality product that when they spend their money, whether it's a $10 t-shirt or a $70 t-shirt, I want you to really feel like you got your money's worth from beginning to end.
I was gonna say, where are these $10 t-shirts at?
Oh, not over here. They're not over here, but I'm just saying.
I was like, man, I went all through this. Like, a $10 t-shirt? Where was that at, brother? You should have told me about that one.
No, sir. No, sir.
No, but you definitely have you definitely have a quality product for sure. And I'm telling you, I really feel that that you're off to something big because you like you said you've only been around since like for the most part since like 2017.
Yeah.
So if you have this kind of success, we'll say, in 3 years, big things are going to happen. I can see it.
No, I appreciate it.
You know, it's just one of those things, you know, like sometimes you hear, like, you know, there's local artists in your community or something, and then you hear a song, you're like, oh, that's about to blow. Right? Yeah. So in the clothing world with this, just seeing what you have going on and everything, I'm like, it's going to blow. I mean, that's my truth. Who am I? I'm the guy on YouTube, but I'm just saying. Look,
but no, I mean that. But that,
like you said, organically, like I'm just some dude in Denver. I caught a glimpse, what you know, on TV night with the wife, and now here we are. Yeah. So you know what I mean? I mean,
the possibilities are endless, man. To me, it's very humbling because I know the amount of work and sacrifice that I put into this brand in this short period of time, and I know that people say, you know, we've only been around for going on 3 years, but in that 3 years, I'm telling you the amount of work that I put in just to catch up with people that have been doing it for 5 years, for 10 years. Right. And the sacrifices, the time that I put into this, and the attention to detail is so important to me that I feel like, again, and it's just been organic. I mean, some people are great at basketball. Some people aren't. Some people work really hard. But I've always been going to say, if you put the time as well as the talent together, you're unstoppable. You know, a lot of people, Shane Battier, I mean, if you watch basketball, he was great at what he did, but he worked hard. Whereas other people are just great athletes. And if they actually put the time and energy into their craft as well as the talent, they're unstoppable.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. So as you know, kind of as we wrap up, what's something that you kind of want to maybe bring to light that maybe I didn't bring up or what have you?
Oh man, something I want to bring up. I don't know. I mean, I want to definitely just leave on knowing that KRoussaw is a brand. KRoussaw Apparel is a part of that brand. KRoussaw Cares is a part of that brand. Everything we do, the name KRoussaw, will be synonymous with success and with great quality, no matter if it's a product or a service, because we're bigger than clothes. We want to continue to make you guys dope clothes that you love to wear, and just be different. And I think that what I want to always leave the message of, don't just see the difference, be the difference, so that others too can see the difference and realize too that they can be different. That's our quote, that's our motto. And we're really big on people just owning their individuality, and the clothes are just an expression of that. So we want to continue to push the culture forward, with street and urban fashion, with our urban couture, and just kind of like continue to make products that people love to wear, and just get really synonymous and really aware of what this logo means. It's not just a teddy bear, but as I said earlier, the symbolism in it and what it means to us, but what it means to people. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than our brand. It's a message that we want to spread to the world. Okay.
And I'm definitely gonna make sure I put a link to all your social and everything down there in the description. But folks, look, this has been Mr. Kelly with Good to the Hood, with the founder of KRoussaw. And until next time, peace.